After 3 decades of stagnation caused by the terrorist conflict, this country has made amazing progress in all areas during the past 5 years of peace. Safeguarding our hard-won peace, security, and sovereignty is the most important requirement for us to ensure that Sri Lanka will continue to make rapid progress in all areas. Over the last 5 years, the government has taken every effort to enable the full benefits of peace to reach the general public. All 4 past presidents had tried to solve this problem without any success. From the 1980s onwards, successive governments had attempted peace talks, military campaigns, and even tried international mediation with peacekeeping forces and monitoring missions as a way to end the terrorist conflict. All of these attempts failed. The public began to lose confidence in the government's ability to neutralize the terrorism. Our economic progress slowed down significantly. Because of the war, the government could not develop public infrastructure or improve the quality of utilities and services. Ending the terrorist conflict once and for all had been the primary task entrusted to His Excellency the President Mahinda Rajapaksa by the people of Sri Lanka in his first term. There is no doubt that the defeat of the LTTE and the dawn of peace in May 2009 was the pivotal event in Sri Lanka's recent history. Concerted efforts by the government since 2009, each of these post-conflict challenges has been systematically overcome. Much work has also been done to ensure the creation of a macroeconomic environment conducive for development. Notwithstanding all of these facts, it is critical to realize that our present peace and stability is not simply due to our having defeated the LTTE and its terrorism in May 2009. There are still many threats that besets our nation, and attempts continue to be made by various parties to undermine Sri Lanka's peace, security, and stability, and especially the sovereignty. The foremost duty of the government is to ensure that such threats are contained and eventually eliminated. Unless the security of the nation and its people is ensured, no true progress is possible. The many steps taken to secure the nation against the threats it faces is another aspect of the hard work carried out by the government since 2009. Despite the death of Prabhakaran and the defeat of LTT's military organization, the primary threat to our national security remains the re-emergence of terrorism. From the 1980s onwards, a lot of support was generated internationally for the LTT and its Elam enterprise. The LTT's vast international network and extremists within the expatriate Tamil population remain committed to the separatist cause even to this day. In this context, it is extremely unfortunate to note that certain ethnocentric political parties continue to demand the removal of military camps from the north and east. These parties are mostly funded by pro-separatist elements, so it is no surprise that their aims remain similar to those of the LTT, even though they show a democratic face to the world. This is an extremely dangerous and irresponsible action that could seriously undermine our national security and threaten our future prospects. Removing the military due to pressure from parties with hidden agendas could very well undo the immense progress that has been achieved in Sri Lanka over the past 9 years. The fact that no incidents of large-scale violence have broken out after the war does not mean that such threats do not exist. It merely means that these threats have so far been very effectively dealt with. It is therefore essential that all the measures taken by the government to counter these threats continue uninterrupted. Although the government has successfully foiled all attempts to resume violence in Sri Lanka, the activities of the LTT network in the international arena still continues, as you know. They did not fully understand that the LTT was a vast, sophisticated military force that at times outgunned, outmaneuvered, and overran the Sri Lankan military. Because of this misreading of the nature of the LTT threat, either through innocence or willful ignorance, and also as a result of certain geopolitical agendas, some influential foreign governments did not quite support the government's decision in 2006 to pursue a military solution to the terrorist conflict. Notwithstanding these issues and the falsity of the allegations being made, and despite the sad irony of LTT cadres and operatives being allowed to make accusation against the military, the Geneva process could have serious repercussions. Sri Lanka's sovereignty could be gravely affected unless the government remains strong and stable. This is a serious issue that all Sri Lankans must take note of and be vigilant about. In this context, it is extremely unfortunate to note that there are some influential figures within Sri Lanka who have said openly that the country should submit itself to an international investigation. One such figure has even admitted to being proud of her children for saying they were ashamed to be Sinhalese and Sri Lankans after having watched what is little more than an LTTE propaganda film aired on Channel 4. The question we must all ask ourselves at this point in time is whether we are willing to risk the future of Sri Lanka by weakening our resolve to protect what we have legitimately achieved. Ensuring that our present momentum does not falter requires continuity above everything else. Between 2006 and 2009, the government's focus was on ending terrorism and bringing peace to Sri Lanka. From 2009 to date, its focus has been on maintaining that peace, stability, and security, whilst creating an environment conducive to sustained economic growth. As we go forward, I'm absolutely certain that all the remaining issues we face as a nation, including issues of national reconciliation, good governance, will be systematically addressed and solved by the government.
50 years of strength, trust and stability, offering high security and the best return for your investments. Licensed by the Monetary Board of Sri Lanka and serving you with 5 decades of trusted excellence. Mercantile Investments and Finance PLC, service that extends beyond. Call 0112 348 348.